Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 6 college football picks for the 2021 college football season. I can't believe we're already at Week 6. Before I continue, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to your channel. Greatly appreciate you do that. Really try and grow the channel, so go ahead and do that. We do have a subscriber goal of 500 by the end of the year. So, last week, I'll admit it was another bad week. I show you how we did last week, and then show you the overall record, which I'm going to show you right now. Last week, the overall record was 11-19. That's pitiful. That is horrible. We did 30 games last week. The spread is 13-17 against the spread, so we actually did better against the spread, primarily because a lot of upset picks actually did cover the spread, but didn't end up winning. The locks of the week, we gotta do better than the locks of the week. I mean, it was better than last week, but still, I want to get 4 out of 5 on those every week, so not 2 out of 5. And then the upsets, we didn't hit any upsets, but I think 4 out of the 5 did cover the spread. So that's good. But just once again, not a good week. Now overall throughout the season, we've been 79-60 overall, 73-66 against the spread, 15-11, and then locks of the week we got to be better than that. And the locks of the week, and then the upsets of the week, 8-18. So we're gonna pick 30 games this week. I am hoping to do better than last week, obviously. These spreads are from DraftKings. They were locked at about 9 o'clock on Tuesday night. You're not getting this till Wednesday night because I couldn't film it on Tuesday night because I got caught up in something. But basically, the way we're gonna do it is I'm gonna go through each game. I'm gonna pick the game straight up, and I'm gonna also pick it against the spread, and I'm gonna give you a score. 20 in the main category. Then I'm gonna give you 5 locks and 5 upsets. So here we go. Okay, the first game we're gonna pick is this Temple versus Cincinnati game. Cincinnati is a 29-point favorite at home. Temple is they beat Memphis. I mean, they're actually I think better than what a lot of people expected them to be. But Cincinnati's gonna win this game. The question is about that spread. I'm gonna go ahead. Cincinnati, they're coming off a big win against Notre Dame. I could see them maybe sleepwalking through the first half of this one. I'm gonna go Temple plus 29, but I'm gonna take Cincinnati by 4 touchdowns. That number is just a little bit too large for me. I'm gonna go ahead and take Cincinnati in this one. I'm gonna go Cincinnati 45, Temple 17. So that's 28 points. Yep. 45-17 Cincinnati. They'll win but won't cover. I'll take Temple plus 28. I mean plus 29 to lose by 28. Then we have Stanford versus Arizona State. Arizona State, they'll come off a big win on the road against UCLA. Stanford, they'll come off a big win against Oregon. These are two teams that I can see this game being ugly in the first half. Just an ugly game overall. But maybe by the second half, things get clicking. I went back and forth for this one. I'm picking Arizona State. I went back and forth really with the spread. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say I'm just for some reason I just have a gut feeling Arizona State's gonna win this by 2 touchdowns. I just have a gut feeling. I have to score 31-17 Arizona State. I just have a gut feeling they're gonna win by 2 touchdowns. So I'm gonna take them to win and cover. Next game, Oklahoma versus Texas. This is a top 25 matchup. I believe it is number 6 versus number 21, if I'm not mistaken, in the top 25. And my top 25, I believe, is 7 versus 23. I do not pick top 25 matchups in the lock category or the upset category. Because I believe the game is too big to put in that category. But I think Texas is gonna win this game. I think I might have said it earlier in one of the videos. I'm going with Texas most likely, and I am. I mean, Oklahoma's offense. Yeah, I know they kind of got back to the old ways, hanging 37 on Kansas State, but they gave up 31. Texas is a team I think is probably the most talented that Oklahoma's going to face all season. It's a rivalry game. Texas hasn't won in a few years. I just feel like Texas is due to win this. And I think everything lines up for Texas to win this. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the Longhorns to go ahead, pull off the upset against Oklahoma. 28-24 Texas. I still think Oklahoma's the better team, but I just think Texas is due for one. And I think they're going to pull off the upset here. 28-24 Texas. Next game is Arkansas versus Ole Miss. Both of these teams got a reality check last week. This is a big matchup. I think this can determine possibly who comes in second SEC West. I'm gonna go Ole Miss to win and cover here because I just trust their offense more. I think Arkansas. And here's the thing with Arkansas: they play this 3-3-5 defense, which is good against pass happy teams. And you might think Ole Miss is a pass happy team, but they will run the ball. They're not afraid to run the ball. You look at what Alabama did last week. They ran the ball very efficiently against this. I mean, not Alabama. Georgia did last week. You saw what Georgia did last week. They ran the ball very efficiently against Arkansas in that 3-3-5 defense. I'm going to take Ole Miss to win this game. I think it's going to be a back and forth game, but I'm going to take them to win and cover 31-24 Ole Miss. Next game is Maryland versus Ohio State. I am a Maryland Terps fan. Ohio State will win this game. The question is about that spread. I'm actually going to take Maryland plus 21. I think Maryland, after last week, they want to go out and at least prove something, that they're at least still a pretty decent team, which I still think they are. I just think everything just fell flat on its face last week for Maryland. I think they're going to go out there into the horseshoe, try to prove something. Ohio State, I still think is a little bit shaky, even though that was pretty impressive against Rutgers. So I think Ohio State wins this at the end, but I'm taking Maryland plus 21, 45-27 Ohio State. I'm going to take Ohio State by 18, and I think they'll win, but they won't cover. Next game is Georgia Tech versus Duke. Duke is a 3.5-point dog at home. I think Georgia Tech goes into this game trying to prove something after last week's embarrassing loss to Pitt. I think they win this game, but I'm going to go ahead and take Duke plus 3.5 because I only have this game by a field goal. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take Georgia Tech in this one. I have it 24-21 Georgia Tech. I do think they're the better team, but I think Duke gives them a run for their money. So I'm going to go ahead and take Duke plus 3.5 at home. But at the end, Georgia Tech wins by a field goal, 24-21. Next game is South Carolina versus Tennessee. Tennessee is a 10.5-point favorite in this one. I said during the preseason, this game is going to determine how how the seasons go for both of these teams. Whoever wins this game is probably going to a bowl game. Whoever doesn't probably isn't. And I still kind of feel that way. Especially if you're South Carolina. I look at this game. It's a 10.5-point spread. At Tennessee's favor. Tennessee is favored by 10.5. Listen, the reason why that's the case is because they hung 62 on a Missouri team that is not as good as I thought they would be going into the season. And Tennessee does have an offense, but defensively, I don't think they have much of a defense. South Carolina, I think it has a pretty good defense. Offensively, I do think they're a bit challenged. I think this game, I think it's going to be close early. At the end, though, I think Tennessee maybe pulls away a little bit, but I'm still going to take South Carolina plus 10.5 on the road. I still think Tennessee's not going to cover this, but I think Tennessee wins this game by 8. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Tennessee in this one. I got the score 31-23 Tennessee. I just think they make a play or two. The game's in Knoxville. I think they win this game, but I'm going to take South Carolina on the road plus 10.5. It would not surprise me if South Carolina comes into Knoxville and beats them. Next game is Virginia versus Louisville. Louisville is a 2-point favorite at home against Virginia. Virginia kind of found themselves in the Miami game. I thought. I know Miami's not a good team at all, but I thought Virginia kind of found themselves. Louisville, they're coming off a close loss on the road to Wake Forest. I went back and forth for this one. This game's coming down to who do I trust more. I just trust Virginia more. I just do. I trust Bronco Mendenhall. I just trust him more than Scott Satterfield. That's really what this game comes down to. I want to take Virginia plus 2 on the road to win outright. Upsets are usually you have to be at least a 3-point favorite. That's usually the rule for the upsets. So that's why this is not in the upset category. So that's why I'm going to take the minor upset here. I'll take Virginia plus 2 on the road to beat Louisville. I like Virginia to go ahead and win this game. I got it this game 28-26 Virginia. I got them winning by 2. I just trust Virginia. My gut feeling is that they go in there and get the win. Next game is Georgia versus Auburn. Auburn is a 14.5-point underdog at home against Georgia. Listen, that was a big win by Auburn last week, and it was a good thing they got that win because they are definitely losing this game. The question is that spread, and the question is, can Auburn score a touchdown on Georgia? The only team that scored a touchdown so far on Georgia has been South Carolina. And we're already in week 6. I think Auburn does score a touchdown on Georgia, but at the end of the day, I'm taking Georgia in this one. I got Georgia winning this game. I went 28-12. That's the score I got. I got Georgia by 16. I think it would not surprise me if Auburn gets a backdoor cover in this one, but I got Georgia to win this game. I have it as I said, 28-12 Georgia. I just think they might be the best team in America, probably one of the best defenses we've seen in a while. I could see Auburn maybe scoring a touchdown late, maybe try to go for a 2-point conversion, get it from 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, but I like Georgia 28-12 in this one to win by 16 and win and cover that 14.5-point spread. Next game is Florida State versus North Carolina. North Carolina is a 17.5-point favorite. This was almost a lock of the week. I had North Carolina winning and covering. I just think that spread is just a little bit too large. I wish it was more around 15 so I could hit it as a lock of the week. But I think North Carolina wins this game at 3 touchdowns. Go ahead, give me the Tar Heels to win this game. I'm going to go 35-13 North Carolina in this one. I got them winning by 22. I just think they're the better team. I still think they have a chance to win the ACC Coastal, which is absolutely stunning despite starting out ACC play 0-2. They got the win against Duke, but go ahead, give me the Tar Heels. They'll win and cover against Florida State, 35-13. Okay, next game, Wake Forest versus Syracuse. Syracuse, 6.5-point dog at home against Wake Forest. Wake Forest, in my opinion, might be the best team in the ACC. They're the only team ranked in my top 25 in the ACC. Some people say NC State should. They're not undefeated. That's why. You look at Wake Forest. They survived against Louisville. I think they go into Syracuse. They survive against Syracuse. I went back and forth for this one with the spread. This spread is really tough in my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to take Syracuse plus 6.5, even though usually that is kind of against the Cardinal sin. Usually if it's a 6.5-point spread, you usually just take whoever's favored by 6.5. But I just have a gut feeling this game is going to be a little bit closer than 6.5 points. I'll go ahead and take Wake Forest in this one. I got them winning 31-27. I think they'll win by 4. So I'll take Wake Forest to win this game, but I take Syracuse plus 6.5, 31-27, Wake Forest. Next game is Penn State versus Iowa. This is the game of the week. I think is after supposed game day is going to the Red River Shootout, which I understand why they're going to that, but this is the game of the week. Yeah, if you're game day, you gotta be at this game. Iowa's a 2.5-point favorite at home against Penn State. This game is 4:00 on Fox. Even though I thought it was a big new kickoff game, but what they're doing is it's a 4:00 game on Fox. The Maryland Ohio State game is the new game, but the Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt are actually calling this game at 4:00, I believe. So you're still getting the 18 broadcast on this one. Iowa's gonna win this game and cover. I'm gonna tell you why. I do not trust Sean Clifford. I know people are like, oh, he did amazing against Auburn. That was at home. He's going to be on the road against probably the top scoring defense, probably the second best defense in the country. Penn State doesn't have much of a running game. I think that's an issue as well. I like Iowa in this one. I think this game is kind of low scoring. I'm going to take Iowa to win this game, though, 23-17. I like Iowa by 6. I'm going to go ahead and take the Iowa at 23-17. I think Penn State has a turnover or two, and that's the difference in this game. Next game is Buffalo versus Kent State. Kent State is a 5.5-point favorite at home against Buffalo. I want to take Kent State to win this game and cover. Buffalo is kind of falling off a cliff. It would not surprise me to go into Kent State and beat them, but I saw Kent State play against my Terps earlier this season, and I actually like some of the things they saw. They just couldn't finish drives against a Power 5 defense. They will be able to finish drives against MAC defenses on their own competition level. So go ahead, give me Kent State to win and cover here. I like Kent State to win this game. I'm going to go ahead and take them to win this one. I'm going to go 32-23. I like Kent State by 9 in this one. 32-23 I think is a bit of a weird game. Go ahead, give me Kent State by 9. They'll win and cover. Next game is Wyoming versus Air Force. This game might be for the Mountain Division. I mean, the way Boise State's looking, this is a huge game in the Mountain West. 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Might try to catch some of this one. I like Air Force to win and cover, though, and here's why. Wyoming, they play a certain style. I understand that. But if you look at Wyoming's resume, it's just, I mean, they're barely surviving these games. I think they're the only team in my top 25 that is not in my top 25 that's undefeated is Wyoming, because it just not is not impressive showing. So getting the wins, but they're like beating UConn by 2. They beat their FCS opponent by a touchdown in a 50-43 shootout. So I like Air Force to win and cover here. And Wyoming, they play that style. It's gonna be low scoring, but I'm gonna take Air Force by 8. 21-13 Air Force. I think they are the better team. And I think they'll win and cover, especially at home. Next game is TCU versus Texas Tech. This is basically a pick 'em in my opinion. Texas Tech is a 1.5-point dog at home. When we decide to pick this game, I'm gonna go ahead and take Texas Tech. I feel like they got a big win on the road against West Virginia. I said Texas Tech might pull off an upset or two this year. And they'll pull off a mild upset in this one. I like Texas Tech to win this one outright. Go ahead, give me the Red Raiders over the Horned Frogs. I'll go ahead and take Texas Tech in this one. I got the score in this one. I think it's a shootout kind of. I'll go 40-32 Texas Tech. I'll take Texas Tech by 8. Okay, next game, Notre Dame versus Virginia Tech. It should be Virginia Tech on there. My apologies for the typo. Virginia Tech is a 1-point dog at home. I'm taking Virginia Tech to win this game outright. Notre Dame, in my opinion, they lost to Cincinnati. I know at this point people are going to be like, oh, Notre Dame, they need to win out to get to try and make the college football playoffs. I think their season ends right here. They're losing to Virginia Tech. In my opinion, at home Virginia Tech at home in that environment. I don't think Notre Dame is that good of a team. I think they kind of just survived, honestly, most of their games. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, but they blew out Wisconsin. That game was really close. And to Jack Cohn, not Jack Cohn, to Graham Mertz, just absolutely imploded. So I'm going to take Virginia Tech to win this one outright in the minor upset. I got Virginia Tech. I think is a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 20-17 Virginia Tech. I think they win this game. Next game is LSU versus Kentucky. Kentucky is a 3-point favorite at home against LSU, and I think they win and cover. I think LSU is not a good team at all. I think LSU might be destined to finish last in the SEC West, if you want my honest opinion. You look at Kentucky, the 5-0. I think they go on to be 6-0. I think they win and cover here. I think they go ahead and beat LSU. I got the score here as 24-20 Kentucky. They only winning by 4, but because I think this is a close game either way. But I like Kentucky win and cover here. Go ahead, give me the Wildcats versus Tigers, 24-20. Next game is Memphis versus Tulsa. I went back and forth with this one. I'm taking Memphis plus 3.5 on the road. I just have a gut feeling that Tulsa is going to win this game somehow. So I got Tulsa in this one 28-27. I have them winning it by 1. But go ahead and give me Memphis plus 3.5. Memphis has been kind of a disappointment this year. They lost to UTSA. No shame in that. More on UTSA in a second. But they lost to Temple. So I don't know where the season sits at this point if you're Memphis. But I think you lose this game. It won't surprise me if you go in there and beat them. But 28-27. Tulsa in this one. I'm going to say that they win but don't cover. Go ahead and give me Memphis plus 3.5. Ball State versus Western Michigan. Western Michigan, they are a 11-point favorite at home against Ball State. Western Michigan looks like to be the best team in the MAC. Ball State, I do think, is one of the better teams in the MAC. With that being said, though, I think Western Michigan wins this. But I'm actually going to take Ball State plus 11. I think Western Michigan only wins it by 10. So the spread, I think, is just a little bit too big for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take Ball State plus 11 on the road. I like Western Michigan to win this one by 10, as I said. I'm going to go ahead and say Western Michigan wins this one 38-28 Western Michigan. And then the last game in the straight up category, Coastal Carolina versus Arkansas State. I kind of had to find a game because there was one extra slot, so I kind of had to find a 20th game in the straight up category. So we're going to go with this Coastal Carolina versus Arkansas State game. Arkansas State plus 19 at home. They're 19-point underdogs at home. It's kind of been a disappointing season with Arkansas State. Year one under Butch Jones, but I thought it would be a bit disappointing because they were a 4-7 team last year, and that schedule was kind of tough. Not for Arkansas State. The Coastal Carolina is going to win this game. My question is, can they cover the spread? And I think they will. I do think a lot of these, when Coastal Carolina faces these Sun Belt opponents on the road, they're gonna get tough. I mean, it's gonna be sellout crowds, and they're gonna get everybody's best shot. But I think Coastal Carolina, who in my opinion is a top 10 team, the ranked team number 10 in my top 25. Go check out that video on McD Sports 4. I think they win and cover here. I think they win this game pretty easily. It's a Thursday night game on the road. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take Coastal Carolina win this game. I got the score 46-20. Coastal Carolina. I like Coastal Carolina by 26. So go ahead, give me Coastal Carolina to win and cover. Okay, now the locks of the week. So the way that the locks of the week works is that these are 5 games that I think the favorite wins no matter what, and I think they do cover as well. First one is West Virginia versus Baylor. West Virginia, it's been a disappointing season for them. They lost to Maryland, okay. They had a tough loss against Oklahoma on the road. Okay, there's no shame in that. But you lose to Texas Tech at home. That's kind of that's a little bit that's a loss that I think you're gonna look back on and be like, we should have not lost that game. I think you're on the road and lose to Baylor here if you're West Virginia. I like Baylor to win and cover here. I think it's kind of a low scoring game. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Baylor to win and cover here. I like Baylor in this one to win. I have the score 19-13 Baylor. I like them by 6. Next lock of the week is Boise State versus BYU. Boise State, they've been a disappointment this year. They lost to Nevada at home. They went on the road and lost to UCF. They found a way to lose to Oklahoma State. I think they lose the 4th game of the season this year against BYU. BYU, in my opinion, they are a top 25 team. I think they win and cover here, BYU. I'm going to go ahead and take BYU to win this game. I'm going to go 30-17 BYU. I'm going to take BYU by 13. Next game is Michigan versus Nebraska. A lot of people are picking Nebraska to pull off the upset here. Guys, Michigan is legit. They went on the road against Wisconsin. I know Wisconsin's a bad team right now. They went on the road, dominated that game. They needed that was one of those games. They were a 1-point dog on the road that you need to win if you want to be good, and they did. Nebraska, they're coming off a big blowout win against Northwest. Let me reword that. They're coming off a big blowout win against Northwestern. I know people are thinking Nebraska's confounded because they lost 2 close games on the road against Oklahoma and Michigan State, which are top 25 teams. Even though I do think Michigan State's going to fall off, it's going to lose at least 3 or 4 games in the Big Ten. But in my opinion, I think Michigan goes on the road. I'm taking Michigan minus 3.5 on the road. I think they win this game and they cover. I like Michigan in this one. I think it's close. Don't get me wrong. I think it's one of those games again that is close. But I like Michigan by a touchdown. I'm gonna go ahead take the Wolverines in this one to beat the Cornhuskers. I got the score 27-20 Michigan. Next game is Alabama versus Texas A&M. I got Alabama going on the road and win and cover. I mean, listen, I know, and this is the night game on CBS. I know that Texas A&M, they're gonna have that crowd's gonna be rocking. They do not have the quarterback right now because their quarterback's injured, and I just don't. I mean, if they were any good, if they were a team that was pretty legit, they would have went ahead and beat Mississippi State at home, which they were unable to do. I like Alabama win and cover here. I think this game could get ugly, honestly. I like Bama in this one. I got this game 38. Where I have it 38-15 Alabama. So I like Alabama by 23 in this one. In my opinion, I just think Alabama's a way better team at this point. Some people are calling for Jimbo Fisher's job. I don't, as I said, I don't know if I said this on the channel or not, but I think Jimbo Fisher has at least through 2022 at minimum. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Bama wins and covers here. Texas A&M, hopefully they get the quarterback back and Haynes King and try to salvage whichever is left of their season. But go ahead, give me Bama win and cover here 38-15. And then the last one is UCLA versus Arizona. I like UCLA on the road to win and cover here. Arizona is a horrible team. UCLA, I think, is going to look to bounce back after a disappointing loss to Arizona State at home. I think UCLA goes on the road, wins, and covers pretty easily. I like UCLA to win this game. I got the score 49 49-22 UCLA. So that's a 27-point win for UCLA. So I like UCLA to go on the road to win and cover. So those are my 5 locks of the week. My 5 upsets of the week. The rule is you gotta be at least a 3-point underdog to be considered for this category. I know we had the Oklahoma Texas game. Texas was a 3.5-point dog, but I don't count top 25 games in these categories because I think those games should just stand alone. But the first upset we have is Houston versus Tulane here on, I forget if it's Thursday or Friday night. I think it's Friday night. Tulane, they're going to win this game. They're a 6-point dog at home. I think their season has been a little bit of a disappointment after a really good start despite losing against Oklahoma. I think Tulane, I think they try to save their season here. I think they get the outright win at home against Houston. I like Tulane in this one. I think it's a crazy game. 35-30 Tulane. They win it by 5. Next game is Wisconsin versus Illinois. The game's in Champaign. I'm going to say Illinois pulls off the upset. And Wisconsin fans might not like this, but I think Graham Mertz is so bad. And he proved that. And I know he's injured, so I know you might go to the backup quarterback who may have played or two, but then he kind of imploded. The quarterback situation in Wisconsin is just so bad right now that I don't even know. I mean, can they get to a bowl game? I mean, I think they lose this one. I like Illinois to at least cover here. I know Illinois is not that good of a team, but they have a lot of super seniors. They're at home. I mean, Wisconsin did go on the road a few years ago and lose to Illinois. I know last year it was a blowout in Wisconsin, but I'm willing to, as I said, I'm picking Illinois to win this game outright. 10-point dogs at home. I think they win this one outright. I like Illinois in a low scoring game in this one. I like them to win 17-14. I like them to win by a field goal. Okay, University of Texas San Antonio versus Western Kentucky. I like the number 21 team and the McD Sports 4 top 25 to win this game outright, being a 3.5-point dog on the road. Western Kentucky, they have a good offense, don't get me wrong. They gave Indiana their best shot. People are going to be like, oh, but they hung 31 on Michigan State. They only lost that game by 17. The score of that game was 42-16 at halftime. This defense for Western Kentucky is not good. I just think University of Texas San Antonio finds a way to win this game on the road. I think it's a bit of a shootout. I'm going to go UTSA 34, Western Kentucky 29. I like UTSA by 5 in this one to pull off the upset on the road. Utah versus Southern Cal. I like Utah +3 to win outright on the road. Southern Cal it's just really bad in Southern Cal right now. They will beat Arizona. I know they beat up on Colorado, but I mean any team that has a pulse like Utah does, I mean if they're getting blown out by Oregon State, any team with a pulse that you might as well just pick against Southern Cal in that game, which I'm going to do here. I like Utah go on the road, win this game outright. I got Utah in this one. I have the score 30-22 Utah. I think they win by 8. And then the final upset, Oregon State versus Washington State. Oregon State is a top 30 team. I consider them in my top 25 pool. I think they lose to Washington State. Washington State, they kind of proved something to me against that Cal. I watched that game entirely. They're not a bad team. They're at home up there in Martin Stadium. They're a 3.5-point dog at home. Oregon State, yeah, they're a decent team. But I think they pull off the upset. I mean, kind of a home field advantage there. I like Washington State plus 3.5 at home. I think they win this game outright. I'm going to go 24-19 Washington State. I have them winning by 5. So those are my picks for week 6 of the college football season. Comment down below. Tell me your picks. I always like hearing from you all. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate you do that. And this is McD the Beast signing off.